What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 22nd day of December, and here we are with about 10 hours and 20 minutes left in the day, sitting here just below 90K. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It is Monday. It is a brand new week today. We've got a full week ahead of us, about 6.5 days left. We've been consolidating down here for the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 6th week now. We've been down here since the 21st of November. It has officially been over 1 month that we've been down in this area. And with that, I do think that we are ready to break out. Now, just because we're ready to break out doesn't mean it has to happen here. Maybe we move up, we get a slightly higher high like we did back here, and we continue to consolidate. Maybe we even get a lower low, and then sometime in January, that's whenever we break out. However it works, right? We've seen that happen before. We've seen it where we've gotten higher prices. We still saw a lower low, and then we broke out, right? But typically what happens is we consolidate for about 30 to 60 days in environments like this. Whenever the RSI is this oversold, we consolidate for about 30 to 60 days, and we've hit that marker. We are looking to break out at any moment now. So it's very possible that with this next move up to this area that we do break out to the upside. Where a lot of people were convinced that we broke out of this range already with this move here, I was saying very loudly back here on that day, we did not break out. There was no breakout volume. There was no breakout volume at all. We had a lot more volume at the lows, but we didn't go anywhere once that volume came in. Whenever we broke out of this range here, whenever we actually had a breakout candle here, the volume that came in was basically double what we saw here whenever we broke out. We didn't break out. We moved down. We faked out. We made people think that we were in a bear flag whenever really I think we're just in this consolidation phase altogether. And when we move up higher here, if I'm correct in assuming that we will break out to the upside, we should see some volume come in, more volume than what we saw here to the upside. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, zooming in, we can zoom out from there. You can see that volume has started to come back in, right? Coincidentally, right around the time that that the futures markets open on Sunday evening, right? Looking here, definitely coming in. There was no volume at all on Saturday and late Friday. There's just no volume at all, completely absent. And we did not go below this low like I thought we would. My expectation was that we'd go just below that low and then come up, but whatever. We were wrong by a little bit. We did try, but we just didn't go lower. And, well, here we are, moving up higher now. I do believe that we will continue to push higher. The volume is increasing as we're pushing higher. 16 minutes left in this 1 hour candle. The most volume spike that we've seen in 1 hour was here, and we didn't really pull back much. If anything, we're pulling back to points of resistance, 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 resistance to find support on. And that's actually a really good thing. Prior support as resistance, prior resistance as support. That's a good thing. 1 hour time frame, the RSI looks very good. You're getting overbought consistently, and you're not getting oversold consistently. You're living above the 50 predominantly, which is nice. It is a very neutral posturing in the price, but overall bullish on the RSI. Stochastics are bullish. The MACD is also bullish, scooping the zero like this and then coming up like that. I like to see that. 4 hour time frame here, you are finding some resistance at the overbought zone, as you have before. You know, really all of these highs that you've had throughout this range since the 21st of November have correlated very well with these overbought readings. So here we are now. Wouldn't it be interesting? I think it'd be very interesting if we pushed into that overbought zone and we saw stronger readings than we did here. That very well could pave a path forward that takes us away from this range. I mean, it could be happening today, guys. It could be happening tomorrow or the next day that we are pushing toward this 100K level. I don't expect that it's going to be a short-lived experience. I believe that, a long-lived experience. I think it's going to happen in a very short amount of time. It will be a short-lived experience. It'll take a very small amount of time to move up to this target area. We'll get into that. But looking at the RSI, maybe a little bit cautious here, right? We are at points where we found resistance before. We are at points where we found support before. We could be finding support where we found resistance. We do have 2 hours and 14 minutes left in this 4 hour candle. I think it would look better if this candle closed green, because then we're not rejecting the overbought zone but pushing into it. But time will tell. Even if we reject here, we can come back down and find support at the 50 or the 60 and then continue to move up. Stochastics look bullish. The MACD looks very bullish. There's some incriminating stuff here for the bulls on the MACD. Whenever you cross above the zero, and then you typically consolidate. Whenever your oscillators here cross above this line, the zero line, like they did, typically you consolidate. And we crossed above that on, well, early Saturday. So we consolidated over the weekend, and now we're building bullish momentum again. What we want to see here is we want to see the histogram get above this histogram here. We don't want to die off in bullish momentum. We want to build, right? We want to build. Whenever we build, that's good. Whenever we die off, that's not as good. I like the MACD. I think it looks good. That MACD is very incriminating, telling me that we're probably going to see a move that's larger than what we just saw here. We're probably going to see something that's a little bit bigger than that. I mean, if we think about it in this context, right, because from this low, you came up and crossed above the zero. From this low to like this high here, right, that was your move. If we did that same move from here, we're basically back at the top end of this area. All we have to do is push a little bit higher and we're breaking free. Wouldn't it be absolutely sad, just classic, if as soon as we got above these highs, that's whenever we came back down. That's when we started the long track back down to 86K or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the rest of this month could be very boring in that sense. But a little bit of excitement over the coming days is definitely programmed in here. Daily time frame, looking at this, the RSI is starting to shape up, you guys. It is definitely starting to shape up. You have this downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, right? Throughout all of this, you really have this kind of downtrend. We've broken out of it. We're kind of moving sideways at this point in time. And instead of finding resistance at the 50 area and then coming down to the oversold zone here, we found resistance and we didn't get oversold. And I think that could have some bullish implications. Right, whenever we found resistance at the 50 area and we didn't get oversold here, we came all the way up near our overbought zone here, right? The last time that we saw something like that, I would think that we do continue getting overbought. Typically, whenever you get oversold, you like to live below the 50. The fact that we're back above the 50 right now is nice to see. And I mean, this could definitely, you know, if we continue to build like this, we get some higher lows, higher highs. This could definitely build into something beautiful over the coming days. This is the daily time frame. Perhaps sometime in January we could be overbought, working our way up to that area and starting off the new year in a very proper way. If we're looking at this on the stochastics are bullish as hell. Crossed up, pointed up right here, looking like you want to go to the overbought zone. Not bad at all. The MACD did provide a false cross. We did have a false cross to the downside. We're crossing up now and building bullish momentum. This looks like the real deal, you guys. That in combination with the RSI and the stochastics, I'm very confident. I'm very, very confident right now. I'm more confident now than I have been throughout this whole damn range that we are going to break out of this to the upside here. And with that being said, it's completely possible that we're done with this range. If we break out of this range, we can return back to it. Maybe we find support at prior resistance. Maybe we return back to it and we even see a lower low. And then we come up and we've got this giant W shape. I don't know. I think we already have a kind of W shape here enough already. But I do believe that from here we are going to break out of this. I'm very confident at this point. The next target area is here. And this is what I want to see. Okay. This will take the guesswork out of it for Bitcoin. This will take the guesswork out of it for the bulls and for the bears. I want to see us bust through that level. Now this is the area that I'm expecting we find some resistance at. If we get tied up here a little bit, that's fine. If we find some resistance here, pull back, find support, and then we come up later and try it, that's fine. But the most bullish response would be to just tear through it. Tear through it. If we can tear through that level, this really starts to get cemented in as a macro low. And it's not just a macro low, it's a higher low, right? It's a higher low. This was a macro low, that's a macro low, but that's a lower low. This is a higher low in what is a bull market in an environment that a lot of people are assuming is not bull market territory anymore, right? The best bull markets are the ones that people think are over. those are the best bull markets, right? The ones where everybody's expecting more, those are the ones that are the worst. And for a lot of this cycle, I mean, really throughout most of this time, a lot of people were expecting more. And how bad has it been? Now that people are expecting less, it might be the time that we get more. I'm just saying, a lot of people are sidelined right now. There's a lot of negative news about Bitcoin and crypto and all this stuff. You see that interview with Ray Dalio where he talks about Bitcoin in a completely ignorant and non-intelligible way at all. He's a smart individual and a successful person, so either he's just ignorant to Bitcoin or he's intentionally fabricating the truth. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there was a there's an interview with Ray Dalio where he was saying governments can interfere with Bitcoin transactions, and they can't. But they can interfere with your gold transactions, yeah, if they're big enough. Try transacting $1 million worth of gold cross-border. You can't do that without government interference at all, or institutional interference at all. You can't do that. Or unless you want to trade millions of dollars in gold cross-border without the help of institutions. Good luck with the security on that. Bitcoin, you don't need any of that, and they can't shut it down. No government can shut down any Bitcoin transaction. But there's a lot of FUD, is all I'm saying. There's a lot of FUD and BS that's being spread at the lows here, and that typically makes people sell. Makes them think, oh God, well, I thought I was investing in hard money. This guy says it's not hard money. What am I doing? And then it pumps, and you're like, what was that guy thinking? Why did he tell me to sell down here? Anyways, 89.8K right now. I do believe we're going to see some upside here pretty soon. Weekly RSI at the same levels that we typically have recovered from throughout this whole cycle. I guess a little bit lower, to be fair. We're at the oversold zone. Bouncing off of that, though, is a very nice reaction. Stochastics coming out of the oversold zone, hopefully this week, if we can push up higher a little bit. And then the MACD is at a perfect area to bounce as well. I have a feeling that over the coming weeks, it's going to become increasingly obvious, only more and more obvious, that we, in fact, were not in a bear market down here. No, this was, in fact, another higher low, just like this one was, just like this one was, just like that one, just like that one, and all these higher lows. I think it's going to become increasingly obvious. And once we're above about 102K, once we're above these daily closing lows, that's whenever the statistical probability goes up that this is a low, a macro low, a higher low in this cycle. Once we get above 116K, then it's vindicated. Then there's no denying this was a macro low, and we are going to new all-time highs. Right? I would say that 116K level is just as important to the bulls as this 74K level is to the bears. Taking that out, at that point you can't dispute it. We're in a bear market, right? We have lower lows and we'd have lower highs. But if you take that out, we're very likely going to see new highs, and this still is a higher low. So again, the odds that we take this level out go up tremendously once we take out this 102K level. So I would love it if we didn't just come up here and find resistance, but if we just blast it through it. If my expectations, your expectations, the market's expectations were not close enough, and we actually were very bullish, and we broke well above 100K by the end of this year. But time will tell. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.